What's up guys, it is Wednesday and today is the start of the TAT rulers. I am starting off with Lumia, the creator of Hope, because she is my favorite ruler in the entire game, let alone the one in the entire box. So I wanted to start off with her and hopefully get all of them done by Sunday. I'm going to be in Houston for Friday and Saturday, so I might pre-film them and then post them Sunday. It really depends on if I find the time, but let's start with Lumia nonetheless. For my magic stones, I run an Almir's Levitating Stone, of course, because it lets Lumia deactivate early, as well as giving everything flying. A little red, the Pure Stone, which I normally call white on. It's possible to call black or red because I have those colors in here as well, but they're just for spells. 4 Heat Ray, once again, just for like thunders and flame. And 4 Magic Stone of Heaven's Rift, just for flame, and I have a Necronomicon in here. For the Resonators, I decided to run 4 Achilles. I'll explain as I go why this card is actually so super clutch in this deck. I actually really ended up liking it. I have 4 Holy Warrior of Hope, just main really low drop beat stick with good stats. 1 Pandora. I've never liked this card at more than 1. I know a lot of people seem to like it. Some people play like 4 and 4 Grims in Light Rush. But personally, I felt like I never have trouble getting to my 4 Grims anyway, so I decided to play 1, so if I do get it around turn 3 or 4, I could just pitch out another copy of a Grim, but I really didn't want to run more than 1 of that. And then I have 4 Grim. My problem with Light Rush has always been that I hate the kind of concept of trying to set up a field where, you know, I have Grim and everything else being powered up, and then if they Thunder Grim, I kind of lose the whole board presence because everything was only relevant because of the buff from Grim. And what I actually like is with Achilles, it contributes itself to protect Grim if somebody tries to Thunder it or anything like that. And what makes it so awesome is this makes Achilles 400 and 600, so Achilles is outside of Thunder range as well. So it's kind of nice to know that I can protect Grim from anything like Thunder or, you know, those kind of spells, even something like Stoning to Death, by using Achilles. And then Achilles also has a late game kind of advantage as well, which I'll get into later. And then 1 Grim the Avenger of Fairy Tales. It removes target Darkness Resonators, gives 2/2, and also you can play 3 with Lumia instead of the 2, and I mean, like, you know, pay 1 for Awakening, and you get to negate the effects of everything on their board. If they kind of have like a Christie lock going on in Elves or anything like that, you can always just blank everything to make sure you can start targeting, so it's not bad to just run 1. 3 Jian. Jian protects humans from damage, and she also gets the buff from Grim, of course, so he can't be damaged with the first damage they try to do, and then she's 9/9, so her stats become extremely relevant. I decided to not run any fantasy actually. I know it might seem kind of like a waste, but because of Lumia's +3 effect, if Jian was one of the cards she hits, you can't get the enter effect, and I'd rather not have like a Guild Array or a Purple Mist in my hand. I mean, I wouldn't run Purple Mist without the water, but just for argument's sake, I don't want to have like a dead fantasy in my hand and the only access to Jian is through Lumia's effect, which I can't get the enter off of. So I decided to just kind of play it for the beat stick and protection aspect and, you know, for the human side of it more, rather than try to go for like these combos because I don't want to make inconsistent hands. And then 1 Able because there's a lot of 1-drops, so I can sack him really easily and it clears the board. Also good against stuff like Elves or anything that swarms the field, like Grim as well. And then 4 Gwyber. I've been using this card in all my light decks and there's no reason not to be. I hope people don't think I'm just kind of recycling the same idea, because this is the new win condition in every light deck and it's just way too good not to play. With Achilles mid-game, you might think, oh, you know, they already have field presence, I don't really want to summon something that's not going to give me something right away, it's just kind of a waste of a summon, but it's not, because you can play Achilles, you can play Holy Warrior of Hope or whatever you have, drop Gwyber, and then at this point, if they actually try to do anything to Gwyber, you could just banish it to protect it with Achilles. So that combo is actually extremely strong, and even with Grim, this is 14/14, which can hit over a lot of, even like, let's say if they have a Bahamut and they have a White Sword up, it's only going to be 1200 defense, and normally you crash and they gain imperishable, so they don't really lose their card, but you do. Now it'll be 14/14 with only 1 Grim, and you'll win that fight. So it's really cool to think that Grim helps this, and it's not so easily removed, all because of Achilles, and I can't believe I didn't think of using that card sooner. It's just so good. I went a little overboard with the spells. I really wanted a lot of removal because I love being able to go through Lumia's 3 effect really quickly so I can get access to 3 more cards as soon as possible. I run 4 Justice Godsword because the way I play this deck is when I deactivate Lumia, it's mainly just to have her sit there with enough stones to feel comfortable with, maybe around 5 or 6. And I don't really attack with her unless I have so much field presence that I know that even if she was to die, I wouldn't really be losing the game. But I just have her sit there and keep continuously making me plus and replacing more cards essentially in my hand, since she does get, you know, the once per turn effect off the remove from play cards. And I just figured like while she sits there, anything they try to block is just going to take 1,000 damage because this makes the J rulers attack the damage instead. So it's really nice to be able to just have nothing you have blocked, and because it's a kind of like a light rush deck, you don't want them to be summoning a bunch of chump blockers and slowing you down. So it's nice to know that this is actually more than just a 500 damage. It's just, it clears anything once you have Lumia out. And then 4 Thunder, this is mainly actually for the 500 direct. Of course, you can do it on Resonators as well, but I love being able to go Thunder from my hand, Thunder from underneath Lumia, that's 1,000 damage, and then, you know, draw, use something else underneath her, and then something on their turn again, and then +3 again. It's just really easy to go through all of these cards. 3 Flame of the Outer World. This is actually the main reason I'm running black. I didn't want to lose against matchups like Kayn that can just pick off all of my Resonators, and Kayn is super dead to cards like Flame. And it's really good against those kind of matchups. I mean, this card can clear most cards, and it's not used in the meta, but it yet is so important. And if you could double up on them, you can take out a Behemoth without them being able to get imperishable, so that's actually really good as well. And doubling up on cards like this isn't hard, once again, because Lumia continuously makes you +3. And then 3 Light of Lumia. I thought this was going to be overkill at more than 2, but after practicing with this card, there's times where I won't J-activate even when I want to, just because I don't want to risk her dying because this card is so good. I've had so many matchups where if I go first and I'm kind of in the advantage against Behemoth, they'll drop a Rook Egg at one point, you know, and they don't have the ability to J-activate Behemoth yet because maybe I got rid of one of their swords and they're kind of waiting, and they're trying to, you know, like just slow me down from doing damage by summoning Rook Eggs, and I just go, okay, banish, you don't plus. And it's just so nice to be able to just remove stuff from the game. I mean, my friend plays a Cthulhu deck with Little Red, and he'll have a Byakuya with like 3,000 attack or whatever once he J-activates, and he'll just swing, and I'll go, okay, remove from game. And it's such a good effect because Grimm's not really used often, and even if he is, Grimm's are now using Gwyber a lot, which removes that as well. So this card for 2 cost with Lumia is insane. I've never wanted to play a card more. This is the main reason why I wanted to play Lumia when I resaw this card, and I was just like, you know what, in this meta, this card's actually really good. And then 3 Breath of the God. I have Jan's, and this protects Lumia as well. I thought maybe 2 would be okay, but I kind of wanted to see it more often, so I went with 3. It is a free cost on Jan and just an additional draw, and you never know when you're going to draw into like a second flame if you need it, or maybe another destruction spell or something like Justice Godsword or whatever. So it's just, I think it's really good at 3. You could move it to 2 if you wanted to and replace it with something else, but I think 3 is fine. And then just 1 Necronomicon. I didn't want to run any more of this because I only have 4 black. And this card is just really good because stuff like Achilles can just come back to make Gwyber's cost less again. And there is a lot of low drops, so it really helps assisting Gwyber come out. And I mean, he would even cost 1 if you summon from the graveyard, if you were able to summon 2 1-drops. So even if you have like a bunch of, if you play all the blacks and you can't play like a flame or something anymore, you can just summon a Gwyber by using the rest of your 1 cost manas. So it's not so bad. You could take it out if you didn't want to because there is only 4 dark in a deck, but I figured with 1 Necronomicon, I'm not going to see it too often, so it's not going to get in the way of not having enough black spells or anything like that. I mean black mana, sorry. For the side deck, I decided to run 1 Blazer. This is really hard to summon normally, that's why I only have 1 in here, but I did like the interaction it has with Lumia where it removes everything from the game, so I could just reuse them with her effect. If I was to play this, I'd probably take out the Necro for it against the matchup that's a little bit slower. I wouldn't try to use this against Behemoth because it's way too slow. And then 4 Susanoo, of course, for the Dragon matchups like Behemoth. 3 Crime and Punishment. This card is actually not only good against Behemoth, but I actually like it against Grimm as well. I like being able to kill a Hamlin with just 1 Crime and Punishment. It feels so rewarding because he's normally so hard to get rid of. I mean, Flame is right outside of his reach, and I don't have a group less than this deck because I didn't want to risk hitting it turn 1 and not having that first light drop like a Holy Warrior Pope or something. So I like to think that this can actually kind of replace Flame against certain cards that can't be killed by it and just take them out. 3 Return to Stories, once again for Grimm. It is kind of making a comeback, and I would take out the Light of Lumias for this because I don't want them to be dead, so I think 3 is fine. 2 Fetal Movement. Combos really well with Lumia. You can banish your graveyard and start using the cards again. Of course, the damage this deals is only for the Resonators removed, but it doesn't matter. You're mainly using it just to get the cards out of the graveyard so you can use them. Once again, if I was to side into this, I'd probably take out Necronomicon. And just 2 Dark Holes for something like Knights or another Light Rush deck. I want to be able to clear out their advantage over mine so they don't get rid of my Resonators, and then I can keep swinging in for damage. So thanks for watching, guys. That was Lumia, the creator of Hope's deck profile. If you guys want a quick copy of the deck list, either shoot me a message on Facebook or check out the Too Long Didn't Watch version of the deck profile. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, because I hopefully have all of the TAT rulers coming by Sunday. And I will catch you guys next time.